you know, Liz's story resonates so much to so many people, and so what is it about this story that kind of, when you read the book, you're like, oh, I must share this with other people? And what was the like inspiration that kind of made you want to share it to others?
Well, in reading the book, the thing that got me is just her use of language. I mean, I liked her observations, I liked her sense of humor. It was that kind of thing that made me send it to my best friend, you know, because we sort of observe the world in the same way and have a very similar sense of humor. And so to read a book that was sort of akin to the way we talk, but 1,000 times smarter, that's what really got me.
It's one thing to love a book, but then to take on the character, to put it on screen. So was there any trepidation on your part to be like, oh, I must do her justice? Or
I only had trepidation, really, until we were almost done with Bali.
And then you looked in the mirror, you're like, okay,
I guess I'm committed. Yeah, it was quite an undertaking, and I was very reluctant to finally agree, because I knew once I said yes, I was saying yes to a lot, and a huge time commitment, a huge personal commitment, the traveling, everything. It was an enormous job to have, so I had to really be sure.
The journey that she goes on is tough already. So as an actress, to kind of get into the moment and all that kind of stuff, was it scary for you to kind of maybe go there throughout this whole 3-month period? And do you feel that maybe Ryan protected you in a way to make sure that you were going to be smooth sailing the whole way through?
Well, the thing that Ryan did that was so ingenious is that he really has done so much prep work and so much research, and he knows the book backwards and forwards and inside and out. So there's no question that I came to him with that he didn't have the answer and the reason for the answer and the backup to the reason, and you know, and therefore the really difficult scenes that we had, I was so prepared for them that they weren't really that difficult, because I understood it all so well.
Javier said something really cool. He said that Ryan was a tough director. Do you agree with that description?
He was only tough on Javier. He is tough. I mean, this is a big moment for him, and he can't screw it up. So I think he was hard on all of us, with himself being at the top of that list.
I love the fact that you actually didn't meet Liz until you got to, was it Rome?
Yeah.
So why did you choose until that moment to kind of?
Well, she's so seductive in her personality, and I thought I could easily get in a position where I felt like I was imitating her, and I thought that that would limit me, just in my sense of comfort in playing. So I really wanted to avoid that, and so that's why I avoided her in person until I had already done so many scenes. There was no changing them.
Prey was my favorite, personal favorite. So to work with Richard Jenkins, who is God, to see him do his thing, and I know that on that scene on top of the ashram, you were sick that day. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. Is it like, were you going to, like, you know, not even like go to bed and just watch this guy do this scene, which was like so beautiful in the end?
Well, and it's, you know, good acting is the best medicine, really. It was hypnotizing, and it was one of those things we had actually already started, and he was in such a perfect place of portraying this scene that I didn't want to stop it because I didn't feel well, because it's such a grace, those moments, and to get to sit that close to it and watch it was so amazing. And I think because I didn't feel well, I was having such an emotional response to it, and I just had to keep stuffing that down because I didn't think that was particularly appropriate between these two people. It was more appropriate between Richard and myself, and I just had to keep like hanging on to my composure.
I feel like we're all discovering that same performance at the same time while you were kind of like going to work with these actors, Javier and also Richard and all these, Viola, you know, like what was it like that what did they bring to the table? Because they were kind of like, you know, you went on this journey, but they would show up and like, you know.
Well, the great thing is that, and Richard or Javier mentioned it earlier today, where he was saying that he shows up at the end. We've all been shooting for 4 months now, and he's like a puppy. When do we start? Want to rehearse? Want to get together? Want to talk about some stuff? I have some notes. And it's like, really? I don't care, you know? And then you realize, oh wait, no, I do care. Yes, let's have lunch. Let's look at your notes. And it just, you get reinvigorated every time. And so these actors would come in with their A game, and it would reignite the whole thing over again, country after country. And so that was really a gift.
To be able to experience all the stuff that you did during this period of time, did you leave with anything other than, oh, it was a great shoot, or like, you know, did you kind of go home and did it affect the kind of choices that you're going to be making in the future?
The comedy answer is no, but the truth is it did have, you know, I have made friends that I will have for life now, and that's no small feat. And I also think that I realize how much appreciation I have for my job and how valuable and important it is to me. And it also makes me realize that when I work that hard, that I'm really allowed to take the time at home to recommit myself to that which is the most important element of my life.
On paper, it seems that this might be a very easy role for you to take on, but yet when I was watching it, I'm like, she's working it. So I'm wondering,
oh my God,
you know,
yeah.
so I'm wondering, like, was this one of the harder roles that you've done because of whatever reason?
It was very challenging because it required a lot of acting. It required a lot of what I call math, like learning a language, knowing how to do things that I don't really know how to do, and just the travel of it. You can't underestimate how intense that is on all of us. You know, you've got a huge group of people trying to move from one place to another and one country to another and getting equipment, and I mean there's a lot to it. Dee Dee Gardner, our producer, is really a magician because there were times where it was just to shoot was a challenge.
Last question. Ryan wants to shoot every movie with you from now on, so.
And he should.
Okay then. That's all I need to know. Thank you very much.